Hey Stampers, I'm Gail Davenport. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And today is Stamping Fun with Gail time. This is the card that we're going to be making. Halloween is just around the corner. So here we go. Give me just a second to turn this around and I'll give you all the dimensions and all the supplies you'll need. We're going to be using the Frightfully Cute stamp set that's in our mini catalog right now. And with it comes these dies, and we will be using some of these as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and I can tell you all about that. First of all, we're going to use a piece of basic black, and it's going to measure 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. The inside, which I've already gone ahead and stamped, is 4 by 5 1/4. I stamped the Happy Halloween in the Highland Heather and the cat in the tuxedo black. Next then, I took a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 of the Highland Heather, and that's going to go on top. And I took another piece that is 3 by 5, and I apologize for this. This is a retired folder, but I used it to put on my card as my third layer. So let's go ahead before we get any further and go ahead and get these put on here. So I keep it in my active folders, and I just wasn't even thinking about it being retired, so I apologize for that. Okay, get that glue off my hand. Okay. I got a little bit happy with the glue right there, didn't I? And as always, when I'm doing anything that's embossed, I use my liquid glue. It's my adhesive of choice because it gets into the crevices and it really seems to hold it onto my paper better. So after I did that, I went ahead and I made the moon, and I used Daffodil Delight, which is in our in the stamp set that we're using in the dies. So I stamped this in Daffodil Delight, which you'll see. And then I took the witch, and if you're really careful, you can stamp it right on top of your moon and it'll fit it just fine. And then I cut it out with the circle framelit that's in there. So, but before we do that, I cut out the cobweb that's also in our dies for this. And I put it on, not all the way to the bottom, but kind of near the bottom. So, and I just kind of dabbed a little bit of the multi-purpose glue around in a few places. It didn't have to be everywhere, but I wanted to have somewhat of coverage. And I put that right about here. Now, I want to tell you how I did this label, because we used this, and I cut it out in white, and I stamped the which way to the candy in the Granny Apple Green, but then I punched it out again, cut it out again in the Highland Heather. Well, of course, they're the same size. So on the back, I cut it in half and I curved my corners in because they were sticking out otherwise and not in a place that I was real happy with. So I went ahead and I cut them in half, and I just did a little bit, and where the edging stitching is, I just kind of made the next row of stitching right by there. So then I went ahead and I put this right on the corner in the bottom and over my little cobweb a little bit. I took the witch and the moon, and I decided to use the multi-purpose glue for that one as well. And then I had to fussy cut my bats. So I've already gone ahead and put them on a glue dot. So I fussy cut them, and I put one right there on my little comment. And I put the other one just kind of flying away too, or flying into the cobweb, however you want to look. But that's it. It's easy peasy. It was quick to do. It's fun to do. And I know any people that enjoy Halloween, trick-or-treating, especially children, would enjoy this card. I thank you so much for watching. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below.